Hello, and welcome. Welcome to the Fit Over 40 Challenge Show, the number one health and fitness show for those of us in the club. Yes, that's right, the 40 and Over Club. My name is Coach Dave, and I'm going to be your coach and host today. And I'm super excited to have you here. And today, I wanted to talk to you about what it would be like and what your body would be like if you stopped eating refined carbohydrates. Okay, so before I get into that, I just wanted to let everybody know that if they are interested in getting a brand new copy of my Amazon bestseller Fit Over 40 Challenge, I have a free book and copy for you. All you have to do is go to fitover40challenge.com and you will see the link to the book and you can get that. All you have to do is pay for shipping and handling, and I want to get you out a copy of my best-selling Amazon book, and hopefully it'll be something that will be a little bit game-changing for you, and it'll get you started on that path to losing weight if that's your goal. And so would love to have you pick up your free copy today. So just wanted to get that out there before we get started. So without further ado, let's go ahead and jump in. And so the question I have for you today is have you ever stopped to wonder what would happen to your body if you stopped eating refined carbs? I know that you might have heard of, the Atkins diet. You might have heard of ketosis and, all that type of stuff. But really what it comes down to and what I'm asking here is just simplifying your diet and taking out those refined carbs. And what do I mean by refined carbs? Because I know that is really confusing. And so I want to try to maybe take some of that confusion away and explain to you what refined carbs are. And so refined carbs, they're basically a form of sugar that don't exist in nature. All right. So they do come from natural foods, natural whole foods, but they have been altered in some way. Okay. So the process, there's lots of different processes. And I'm sure if you have maybe even done any sort of research or examination in terms of what food companies are doing to alter foods today to keep longer shelf lives, you kind of get the gist of what altering can take place. And so that's kind of defining it right there for you. So you see, it's no secret that refined and processed carbs continue to contribute to our weight gain. And let me just kind of take a second here and tell you one of the reasons why that I'm putting out this podcast today is because I struggle with eating, I guess, refined processed carbohydrates. I mean, my heritage, I'm Italian and I'm Irish. I love pasta. I love breads. And so that's always kind of, I say, been partially my biggest downfall or my contributor to maybe a little bit more body fat and more weight than I would like to have. And so this is something that I've actually started to do and started to follow. And I wanted to go ahead and kind of just, give you a couple, what's the word I'm looking for? Aha moments that I've had and some of the body changes that I felt. And this is something that I think that most of us would feel too. So if we started reducing those amounts of refined carbs in your diet, it would ultimately lead to a leaner, fitter you. So I'm just saying, if if you think it's hype and you've heard this before, I understand that. But you think if you were to try this and to give up those carbaholic ways, could it make a difference? And so that was what the mission I was on. And so here's what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and break down and show you the body changes that can occur and that I've felt as well. So body change number one is you're going to start to burn more fat. So hear me out here. When you stop eating simple carbs, your body no longer readily has calories to burn. And so it clicks over and it goes into burning stored fat as energy. Okay, so your body, you're tricking yourself. Instead of using those simple carbs to use for energy, your body has to now use fat. That's what it's there for. Fat is essentially a mechanism that your body wants, because it knows that at some point it may need it. So this is kind of getting that point that you're going to be able to start using fat. And here's the thing: if you heard previous podcasts that I talked about weighing, and I know some of you guys replied back that you have thrown the scale out. I had a client who said that it's been 5 years. She took the scale after weighing herself one time and walked out and threw it in the trash. Hasn't touched the scale since. So how do you measure? How do you know? Well, ultimately, you start to feel that your pants start to feel looser around your waist and your thighs. You don't feel as swollen when you start to reduce the simple carbs in your body. And that's something I've experienced as well. So the second body change is you feel less hungry. Now, I don't know about you, but if I eat a pretty big bowl of pasta, it's not very long afterwards that I'm hungry. Okay? Now, see, here's the body change that happens when you start having less simple carbs. Your fat burns longer and slower than simple carbs. So your body, now that you changed it and start using that fat as energy, so that your energy stores will take longer to deplete. Okay, this means that you'll find yourself skipping that afternoon pick-me-up snack and also powering in through until mealtime without hunger pains. You're also going to notice that it takes longer to feel hungry in the mornings after waking up once you've cut the simple carbohydrates and the refined sugars out of your diet. So I don't know if you've ever, I know some people wake up and they just don't feel hungry in the morning. And part of that is that they're not, conducive to always needing that refined carbohydrate sugar pick-me-up. And so that's a good thing. And hopefully, what your body, what you want your body to do is to, throughout the night, through sleep, is to use fat as an energy system. And here's something that I learned. If you've ever done a resting metabolic rate test, what that does is it measures how many calories you burn at rest. And one of the tests that I did, now, I'm not sure if all of them do that, because I think this particular one tells me, I guess in a linear way, how my body uses fuel, meaning like at rest. And ideally, you want to be utilizing more fat during rest as opposed to carbohydrates, but I'm kind of in the middle. Now, this test was done on me about 6 months ago, and so I'm trying to see if following this low carb diet is going to change that, because I'm going to go ahead and get reevaluated, reassessed. But it's just interesting to know that changed up a totally another set of how I train and work out. But your body wants to burn fat at rest. That's what it should do. And so by keeping that low carb diet at night, hopefully you're going to be burning that fat, and then that's way you're also not going to wake up hungry. Okay, so just kind of a little bit of more information on that. If you have any interest in getting tested, I know DexaFit is throughout the country. You can call one of them up and get it, but there's also other places. Registered dietitians do it. Some health clubs do it. Excuse me. I think I'm catching one of the colds my daughter had. Anyway, but yeah, there's lots of places you can do it, and you can even do an equation, I believe, to try to figure that out. But the best way to do it is actually to get it tested through a fasting, and then you breathe in and out through this mask, and it tells you your numbers. But that's the second body change. The third body change is that you're going to have more energy. Okay, so when you live on a diet of simple sugars and refined carbohydrates, it puts your body in a continual energy roller coaster. Now, you may have felt that before, where you eat a meal, you get lots of energy, and then bam, you crash. Okay, see, right after you eat, your energy is high, and then whoosh, an hour later, your energy levels crash. Again, I've felt it. I'm sure you felt it at some point, and all of that changes. Okay, when you start cutting out those simple carbs. And I'm not saying that you have to eliminate. I'm just saying that you start cutting them out. You start reducing them. Because I'm not a believer that you cut out all carbs altogether, because I've even read studies that have shown that that's not the best approach. But the problem is we tend to take in too much as it is. So I guarantee if you just start to reduce, that's where you're going to start to see these changes, okay? And so when you start eating those low carb meals, then you switch to be more filled with nutrient dense foods that can sustain your energy levels for hours at a time. And it will save you from going on those roller coaster rides of a real high and a real low. Okay. So that's one thing to just try to start monitoring is, hey, if you start doing some sort of low carb, diet, how does your energy levels feel? Do you feel a consistent energy level throughout the entire day? Okay. So that's the third body change that happens from low carbs. The final one, then the fourth one is, and a lot of people are going to like this, especially with the summertime coming up. Your stomach gets flatter. Okay. Probably the most coveted of all the low carb body changes is once you've been off simple carbs for a few weeks, your stomach will visibly become flatter. It's that whole thing that I talked about of kind of that feeling swole and stuff like that. Well, you're going to start to reduce that swellness, and you're going to start to get that reward of having and getting a flatter stomach. And listen, some of you, it's going to be a lot more than others. But you'll notice a difference, and I've seen it. And the only way that you can really tell this is you have to do a before and after picture. And it's just like writing down goals. I know people are like, oh, well, I know I got them in my head and I know what they are. Same thing here. If you want to see results and you just really want to, I guess, what am I trying to say? If you don't do the before and after picture, you are going to have a harder time seeing the difference. Okay. I think that's how I can explain it the best way. You just don't see yourself in a different light. If you see what you look like now and you see what you look like later, you might, if it's a dramatic difference, but most of us don't have that ability to see that. Guarantee you though, if you take a before and after picture of a couple weeks, let's say 4 to 6 weeks of doing this, you will see a difference. You'll see a difference if you follow that. So all I'm saying is take that extra time and take some good quality before and after photos. And here's the other thing that I noticed throughout my years. I can't tell you how many times I've had clients who've said, man, I wish I would have taken before and after photos. And listen, you don't have to share them with anybody. Hide them. Put them somewhere where nobody's going to see them. Because if you get significant transformation, those before and after photos are so powerful just for you in itself to show you so that you can see the difference. And then you can go back and be like, man, I don't want to look like that anymore. I want to look like this person. I've had some before and after photos, and of course, I'm always on that roller coaster ride, and I'm like, man, I want to get back to that point where I was when I, was at my leanest. And so I have that photo, and I look at that photo, and I know that I can get back there. I just have to put the commitment in. I have to do the things necessary to do that, and it's one step at a time. And so, again, while eating healthy and nutritious meals is awesome, I also want you to know that by no means does that mean that you shouldn't be exercising, because that's the other half of the battle when it comes to getting and staying fit. So you take this low carb approach, and again, when I mean low carb, I'm not saying cut out carbs, because you need them, especially for exercise. Sometimes it's better for different body types to eat carbs right around their exercise time, so they have the fuel, and they also eat it right after so that they burn it, instead of eating it at nighttime when they're not active. So it's important to have it. But again, don't forget that the exercise portion is as well. So there you have it. Pretty short and sweet today. Again, you need any help, you need any accountability, you need any coaching, one, you can join the All About Health and Fitness Facebook group. It's free, allabouthealthandfitness.com. You can go there, join the group, or reach out to me. If you need some more coaching, you need help on getting you to where you want to be in terms of your fitness goals, then reach out to me, Dave at Dave McGarry, and send me an email with the subject line, "Hey, I'm ready to get started," and I can get you set up with a plan and get you taken care of and get you towards your goals. So I hope that is beneficial for you. And if you have any questions or you'd love to comment, please leave reviews, leave comments. They help me. They help me put this podcast on. It keeps me going. It also helps me figure out what works, what you guys like. And so that's all I want to do is try to help you guys out. So without that, I'm going to go ahead and sign off. And I hope you make it a great day. This is Coach Dave.